The film starts and we are shown Jong-woo, who is a psychiatrist and is making a documentary on the mental health of his patient, who is also his sister. She explains that a few years ago, Young-soo's mom passed away, which caused her a lot of stress. Along with that, she also had the stress of studies. This is why her mental condition deteriorated significantly. To find out what illness she had, an MRI is done. She lies down on the bed. Jong-woo and all the doctors start observing her from outside. But suddenly, the lights in the room start flickering and Young-soo disappears from there. Seeing this, all the doctors get scared and 2 doctors go into the room to check on her. So right here, an unseen force hurls all the doctors against the far wall, and then in the very next moment, we're shown Young-soo standing there in a terrifying monstrous form. Now, the scene cuts and shifts to show us the team of demon hunters, which is comprised of 3 individuals, their leader known as Babu, his manager named Kim, and a young girl who possesses the ability to drive out demons. They presently have a client arrives whose daughter vanished just a few days prior, and she wasn't the kind of girl who would ever leave her home. Along with the police, numerous detectives attempted to locate the girl. However, anyone who ventures out to search for her tragically meets their demise in peculiar accidents. Now, Babu consents to accepting this case, and the individual who presented the case to him cautions Babu to proceed with extreme caution. Careful, because in this case many people are getting killed. At this time there was also a news report running on TV that stated that in Korea, people were being murdered in very strange ways, and the killer's identity was still unknown. Where people were murdered, strange ritualistic items were found, and some individuals were observed behaving oddly. Even on CCTV, a man was also noticed to have killed innocent people and then appeared on CCTV. At that time, his eyes were black like a demon's, and even with the police's extensive investigation, they were completely unable to locate him. The police, now thoroughly frustrated by these strange events, call in a father and inform him that they have never before encountered a crime of this nature. Without any clues at all, the father tells them their suspicion is absolutely right. Whoever is committing these murders is part of a demonic cult. The people of this cult summon demons to increase their powers, offering sacrifices of innocent humans in return for power or wealth. Now the scene cuts to show us Babu, who has gone out to investigate that case. This means he's gone out specifically to find that exact same girl. He then goes inside this peculiar building where he finds a multitude of young people in very strange circumstances. So, Babu gives a little bit of money to a girl he encounters there and manages to find out the exact location where this cult group assembles to carry out their rather unusual rituals. This particular hall was located right within that very same building, and there were actually guards standing outside. This whole cult group, there was one man who was also shown in the news. Here, Babu starts fighting with the cult members. While Sharan, the girl in Babu's group, who has the power to exorcise demons, starts the exorcism on this girl. That means starting the process of removing the demon. When Sharan places her hand on the girl's head and begins to chant, her eyes abruptly turn white as well. Now, the demon residing within the girl also began to experience discomfort. This innocent girl's eyes had become entirely black, and Babu's manager was recording all of this. Throughout this, he observes that every one of the cult members all have the same kind of tattoo right behind their ears or on the back of their necks, and he makes sure to record this tattoo as well, because it could potentially have a very deep connection with this entire case. It's depicted here that due to Sharan's ongoing exorcism, the girl eventually collapses and faints in terrible agony, and after a short while, when she finally regains consciousness, Sharan delivers the good news to them, announcing that the demon has completely left her because the demon hadn't fully taken her over yet, and now this girl was free from the demon's power, meaning their mission was complete. Then the next morning, we learn that Babu wanted to open an orphanage with the money he got from this case, where children without parents would reside. He cared so much about those children because he too didn't have a mom and dad. And he himself had also lived in an orphanage. Now, the scene changes, returning to show psychiatrist Jong-hoo, who shows her lead doctor her sister's current condition and explains that her problem has progressed far beyond a simple mental issue. She feels her sister's case is indeed related to exorcism, but performing exorcism wasn't allowed within this hospital's rules. So, the doctor then tells her about Babu, whose team operates as demon hunters and possesses the capability to provide assistance to her. Here, it's shown that Babu's manager and Sharon were with him, discussing the tattoos on the cult members' bodies. Babu's manager had also learned that the count of people with these tattoos was growing daily, and Sharon states that these individuals with tattoos aren't entirely human. What she meant was that they belong to the demon cult. At this moment, Babu wasn't worried about these things when suddenly Dr. Jong-hoo shows up. She was seeking Babu's help, but upon learning that she was sent by Dr. Father, Babu declined to assist her. Jong-hoo became somewhat disheartened, and as she departed she told Babu, "I'll simply say that this pen drive contains footage of my sister. Could you please review it? Jong-woo then went back to the hospital, where she notices her sister isn't in the room. Jong-hoo hurries to her sister's room, and suddenly her sister appears directly behind her, startling Jong-hoo. Then Jong-hoo turns to look at the bed and sees her sister resting calmly on the bed. Through a flashback, we learn Babu had saved both his manager and Sharon from Lucifer the demon. After that event, they started working together and helping people out. Without telling Babu, Sharon and the manager start watching Yongsoo's video clips, and seeing this, they were really scared. Her behavior was extremely strange. She was crawling in the house. Sometimes she walked backward, and sometimes, in a possessed state, she would suddenly come near her sister. It was clear that she was possessed, under the control of some power. While they were watching this footage, Babu also arrived and saw how the girl, under some influence, was harming herself. She had even made a cut on her cheek. They view the next footage and discover that even when Yongsoo was taken to the hospital, no kind of medical treatment had any effect on her whatsoever. They now examine the footage of Yongsoo's house, where they observe that for the past several months, everyone who visited Yongsoo's house had the same cult. There was a tattoo. They realized that whatever was happening with Yongsoo was because of that specific cult. While discussing this cult, he recalls his old friend who resided with him like a brother at the orphanage. This friend also possessed the ability to exorcise demons and held certain other powers that caused the children in the orphanage to become very frightened, because of which that girl was expelled from the orphanage. After being expelled from the orphanage, when life's difficulties came upon her, she began to lose her inner goodness. To make life easier, she misused her powers and summoned a demon. In exchange for giving her soul, she asked the demon for a lot of wealth and money, and the demon agreed. She had the demon kill all the children and nuns in the orphanage. Babu was also there at that time, and though he miraculously survived, he couldn't save any of them. Babu has been angry with the father of the orphanage to this day and has been living with the guilt for years that he couldn't save the orphanage children. Now he wants to take revenge on Lucifer the demon. He sensed that the cult might also worship this demon, so he agreed to take on Yongsoo's case. Anyway, Babu and his team then go to Jong-woo and show him a clip from his own CCTV footage, which clearly showed that another demon was after Yongsoo, one that had completely rooted itself inside him. Here, they show Jong-woo that for several months now, without knowing it, he had been connected to the people of the demon's cult. Even inside the hospital, the cult members had come to Yongsoo many times. Sharon explains that these cult members, whom the cult considers their guards, kill anyone who interferes with their rituals, and Sharon reveals another horrifying truth, that these cult members aren't truly human, but are more accurately described as a blend of human and demon. Their primary role is to hunt for their cult, specifically targeting innocent souls. Counting all these details, they were prepared to commence their exorcism ritual. Jong-woo escorts them to Yongsoo's room, where Sharon observes her with a peculiar gaze and initiates the exorcism by grasping her head. However, the demonic forces present were exceptionally powerful, causing them to lift Yongsoo into the air, and her stomach was also thrown far away, which Babu managed to catch. Although Yongsoo was now quite distant from Sharon's grasp, Sharon continued to recite her incantations. Consequently, the demon eventually released her, and Babu again picked her up and placed her onto the bed. Sharon once more places her hand on her head and begins to chant her spells. This time, the demon experiences intense agony from her incantations and launches an attack on Sharon. Sharon's eyes become completely white, and she rises up, adhering to the wall. Not only Sharon, but in the very next instant, the demon also hurled everyone else a great distance away. When they manage to stand up, they discover that Yongsoo was nowhere to be found. They proceed to examine the CCTV cameras and learn that Yongsoo had indeed exited the room and released all the patients within the asylum to prevent the demon hunters team from departing the premises. At this point, Jong-woo, in his attempt to rescue his sister, observes that Yongsoo was positioned directly in the center of the road, and as soon as he gets to her, she just faints and falls right into his arms. Babu and his team also hurry there, and Sharon explains that she couldn't learn the name of the demon possessing Yongsoo, and without knowing the name, exorcism is not at all possible. The demon had rooted itself very deep inside Yongsoo, and a full exorcism was needed, for which knowing the demon's name was necessary. Sharon tells them they must go to the very house where it all began. Soon, they get to Jong-woo's place. Upon arrival, they switch on all the CCTV cameras and shut or seal all the house's windows, doors and vents. Yongsoo is secured to a chair, and 2 circles of salt are drawn around her. Sharon clarifies that the exorcism procedure, there will be 6 stages. During this time, Jong-woo must monitor Young-soo's condition to ensure her body doesn't die or suffer too much. Throughout all 6 stages, Sharon needs the demon's name to complete the exorcism. Sharon begins the first step, bringing iron before her while chanting spells. It bends upon touching Young-soo, proving the demon's strength. Sharon declared that the sheer magnitude of the power present indicated that numerous cult adherents were likely concealed nearby. Upon hearing this, Babu proceeded to meticulously search the entire residence and systematically eliminate every single member of the cult he discovered. As Babu was engaged in the process of eradicating the cult members within the house, Sharon, Young-soo, suddenly stands up, so Sharon chants to make him sit back down. Now, this same demon distracts Sharon from Young-soo by possessing his sister. Seeing her condition, Sharon first tries to stabilize her health and then realizes with her power that this house is already cursed. It's not just this demon inside Young-soo at this moment, there have been many things that kept negative energy in this house before. Sharon discovers a wall with strange writings on it. Before she can read it, Babu stops her because doing so could also put her under the demon's control. All these people are now standing by Young-soo, and the devil reveals his truth to Babu right here. He tells his name saying, "I am the same Lucifer demon who killed all the children in your orphanage. I know you truly hate me, but I want to give you an offer now. If you accept my offer and you join me, start obeying me, then I will make you immortal. After which you will never die." At the time Babu was hearing all this, it is shown that he was actually under the devil's possession and was strangling Sharon. Now the demon starts freezing everything with his power. The cold increases, and their condition worsens. Suddenly, Sharon's health deteriorates too, and in the next second, we see Sharon in the demon's world. He brought Sharon into his world just to talk to her. He tells Sharon that Young-soo is very comfortable in his world, so he brought her right here. After a little while, Sharon comes out of this world and asks Young-soo again for the demon's name in the real world because the name the demon told Babu earlier was just to deceive him. It was a trick. It wasn't his actual name. After that, the demon plays yet another game. He emotionally calls out to Jong-woo using Young-soo's voice, so she steps over the salt circle and goes to her brother. This action breaks the circle's effect, and the demon swiftly scatters the salt from around himself and becomes completely free. Now that he has become free, the very first thing he does is throws people away and takes Young-soo with him. Strange things start happening here now. Just like how some strange force lifts Babu's manager into the sky. Things start coming at these people, and then Babu realizes that besides the demon, there's a lot of strange stuff going on in this house. As soon as Jong-woo hears this from Babu, he remembers that the person he bought the house from had told him that there were some very large items located in the basement of this particular house. Jong-woo also vividly remembers that the same distinctive cult symbols were present in their garden area as well. The moment she relays this crucial information to Babu, he promptly heads down to the basement without hesitation. Simultaneously, all the other individuals present are now gazing up at Young-soo, who is visible, suspended from the ceiling within the drawing room. Her eyes are wide with terror and fear, currently inside Young-soo. There were many such instances before, things for which they performed rituals. That's precisely why the demon's power was so potent within this house. It was being worshipped here. Rituals were being conducted for it. Without wasting any time, Bayu begins engaging these cult members in combat one by one, and ultimately, the individual who was leading everything, the one performing the whole ritual, gets up. He takes hold of Babu's face and begins chanting something, which causes Babu to also become possessed. The demon's power starts to take control of him. But Babu remembers God and brings himself back to his senses, attacking and ultimately defeating all of them. Meanwhile, on the other side, Sharon enters the demon's world to discover its name, and she successfully gets the demon to reveal its name by engaging it in conversation. Immediately after, Sharon returns to the real world and begins performing the exorcism on Young-soo, who is attached to the ceiling. Now this time, as she performs the exorcism while saying the demon's name, the demon becomes enraged and its suffering intensifies greatly. Consequently, it shatters the windows nearby, and Young-soo lets out a powerful scream. His voice is so incredibly loud that all the items affixed to the walls tumble to the ground, and a gateway to the demon's realm materializes right here, beginning to draw Young-soo inside. At this time, Sharon was holding Young-soo's head, and Babu had tied a rope around him in order to save him. Sharon was still busy chanting her mantras, so the demon commenced causing them pain too. Sharon and Baku's eyes had both turned black. The demon tells them once again to save their lives by obeying him. Accept me, but Sharon breaks his spell and abruptly extracts Yongsoo from his world's portal. Bapu, wasting no time, strikes the portal with a punch, sealing it shut. Subsequently, they both revert to their normal state, and for a brief period, tranquility prevails here. Ultimately, Yongsoo has been released from that demon's grasp. It is revealed that this was indeed the very same demon, meaning the demon who had also killed the children at Bapu's orphanage and had previously misled everyone by calling himself Lucifer. As soon as Yongsoo recovers, Bapu's revenge is complete. Then, in the next scene, we see that some time has passed. Bapu has reopened his orphanage, and after its opening, he attends a meeting where the members of the same cult are preparing once again to summon the demon. Many groups of them had been previously defeated by Bapu and his team. Their leader was the archbishop, who isn't shown to them, and then the movie ends here.